Jin, how you doing, man?
I'm all right, Sam. How you doing?
Nice. Can you tell us a little about yourself?
Yeah. So I wear many hats. I'm not so much in my own business, but my personal goals with real estate. Oh, let me back up. So, my name's Jin on social media. My real name is Josh. Really don't care which one you call me. If we ever do business together on a contract, it'll be Josh. But I was raised in the States, born overseas because my father was in the Air Force. Uh, Grew up mostly in Michigan, was recently there up until August, where I was in Southwest Detroit, and then I moved to and currently am now in Vietnam. So hi everybody, it's 1 a.m. here. Um,
Damn, man. So what do you
yeah,
do right now? You work virtually from Vietnam?
correct. So I'm really huge on land. So in trying to start up my own land business, I've ran into some people who needed some help. And that's kind of where I started with the wearing many hats. I'm currently helping a gentleman. It's me, him, with his VA and a buyer's agent that has provided us lists in Lee County for land. So we're working those leads and getting people on a contract. We have about five, maybe six live contracts now. Um, but my personal goals is to kind of create a mortgage and seller finance note portfolio, and I'm heading into the commercial real estate space in regards to that. So, apartments with five doors and up, any other kind
What would
of
you say is the
commercial that
biggest
makes sense.
difference between getting land deals and getting deals on single family houses?
Um, so first of all, there's a lot of it. You can get it very cheap. The barriers to entry financially are extremely cheap. Unless you're going for larger parcels in more popular, desirable areas, then you can really be working with six, seven figure deals. Um, but also the another key point is just the attachment to the property. Like people could care less about dirt, especially if there's really no utilities, there's no permits or anything like that. They bought it in 2005 in the 1990s and 1980s, and so this property has appreciated relatively a bit, and so they're looking to make that investment back. And also, if you can find people who are in distressed situations like tax delinquent, tax deed people, they could care less about the dirt. You know what I'm saying? The liability of
Right.
having tax issues
Would
is
you say it's a lot of inherited land that people you talk to?
um you can definitely run into that. I think just if you're doing volume, you could say you're running into a lot of more inherited property in that regard. But I mean, I'm still dealing with a fair share of people, albeit older, fair share of people who still own land. A lot of New Yorkers especially own land in Florida. So
Wow.
yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So, what do? You basically get those deals under contract and then do you and your partner buy them or you guys wholesale it?
Yeah, so we're not quite in the flip area just quite yet with the land. We are currently assigning these contracts right now because we're working closely with a buyer's agent who's from the county we're in. We're just listing the property. Um, but
Okay.
where it makes sense, we are like obviously getting in touch with cash buyers, and that's honestly where I prefer to be. But since we're just kind of again, I'm helping this guy. He really doesn't know much. He doesn't know a lot, or at least when we started, he didn't really know a lot. He just had a VA and was getting leads, and so I decided to help him. And I just happened to have the buyer's agent connection that really kind of put everything together. So
Nice.
yeah.
Nice. What would you say is an average assignment fee on land deals?
Um, so I would say it depends on kind of your the profile of the buyers you're usually going for. If you're going for people who are tax delinquent, you know, it could range from anywhere between 5 to 15 grand. And there, it's with land, I feel like it's just a lot easier to do volume, especially if you have the systems in place. Um, you can easily be making somewhere between 15, 30 grand, even more if the property is larger. So,
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
So, right now, how many deals do you average on a monthly basis?
So it's the beginning of the month. Last month we got all of our live contracts up. I'd say the beginning of this month we just got one new contract. The guy just signed literally like the second, but we started just last month and we got 4 to 5 contracts. Um,
Nice.
yeah,
That's amazing. That's
yeah.
amazing. So we primarily do single family houses when we do business. We do
Yes.
come across parcels and land from time to time.
Yeah.
So I would say land is like 3% of our business.
Hmm.
However, I do like that business model and I do like that niche because I think not a lot of people are going after land. And
No.
also, like you
Yeah.
said, there's not a lot of emotional attachment for people to dirt. So I do
Right.
like that. I like that
Right.
aspect of it.
It's
Um,
a slightly different mindset because you do have to understand kind of what the different kind of there's like really three main categories of land, and then like if it's has certain things on it, as I'm sure you're pretty aware, it makes or breaks the price of the deal. But yeah, it's a again, like you said, not a lot of people are in that space relative to single family homes. I will say though, I still have a focus around single family. My first two deals were, well, my first deal was a single family. My second deal ended up being land, ironically. Um, but those were back in June, July. So
nice.
yeah,
Well, we appreciate you hopping on, man. Hope you learned something today.
absolutely,
Uh, I
absolutely. I
definitely
appreciate you
learned
having me.
something from you. Um, so we will today I want to just cover a little bit about closing and what it takes to close deals. So I feel like from many of you probably have seen the movie called Glengarry Ross, and it's basically a movie about real estate and closing deals and negotiating and what it takes to actually work the leads, right? If you haven't seen that movie, it's probably one of my favorite movies, if not my favorite movie. Highly suggest you watch that. It's called Glengarry Ross. And that movie has a model. The guy walks into the office and he outlines a model by which people have to sell, right? And that model is AIDA. AIDA means attention, interest, decision, action. So you get somebody's attention, you then get their interest, you then get them to commit to make a decision, and then once they've committed to make a decision, you push them to actually act upon that decision, right? So I would say that's the model that has worked for a good amount of time, but I feel like the model that works today and the way things have changed in today's environment is you can't really do that. You can't really push people to just take your deal and push people to just close because if you do that, you sound salesy. And if you do that, you kind of lose credibility in their eyes, right? And the primary reason for that is people have too many options nowadays because we have, companies like Open Door, companies like OfferPad, whatever the, big corporations are doing, they're basically given choices and decentralized in every industry. And that helps people have more options. So, the way of selling as it used to be or the way of actually closing deals as it used to be I feel like doesn't work anymore, right? So I was going to prepare a presentation that would show the difference and the pitch and the script that I wrote, how it's different from the old model. But I actually stumbled upon a guy who's done it already, and he literally outlined everything that I'm about to show you guys. His name is Jeremy Miner. He wrote a book. He wrote a book that's called like Neuro Emotional Psychological Sales or some shit like that. I don't know, remember exactly what he named it. Um, but it was very interesting to see how he outlined it and how he kind of flipped the old way upside down and he started showing people how to actually do it the right way, right? So I'm gonna go a little bit into that. What happened? Yes. Yes. Okay. I'm gonna go a little bit into that today. Um, let me Actually, shit. And then the rest of the day, I kind of want to dedicate to live seller calls. We started these meetings as us doing live seller calls. I kind of want to go back to those roots and just put a couple of seller calls together and potentially, put everything I'm showing you here as theory and practice. I have two leads that I have to follow up with and try to close. I'm probably going to fail with both of them because they're considering other options, but I'm going to try to see what I can do to potentially close them. Now, in the meantime, what I would like you guys to do is think if you have leads that are tough leads or you don't know what to do with them, and I'm happy to call those leads as well. I want to remind we have some new faces, so I want to remind everybody if I get a lead locked up on this live, I don't need that contract. I'll lock up the deal and I'll give you the contract. You don't want to JV with us, you don't have to. So I can lock out whatever lead, whatever deal you have, and I'll give you guys that contract and you can run with it. Okay? So before jump into the theory and before I go into this, does anybody have any questions that they kind of want answered, whether it's sales or it's about, themselves or lead gen, whatever it is? I want to open up for that.
Yeah, I guess I will say kind of as an extension of, introducing myself to you all. And again, I really appreciate you inviting me here, Sam. I, aside from my interest with commercial real estate, and kind of the opportunities that are in front of me regarding that, I am really huge on creative deals, right? Especially sub two. I'm currently part of a dispositions team that 90% of their volume is sub two. And so what I'm most hungry for, aside from my commercial ambitions, is understanding how to pitch and structure sub two. I understand fundamentally, people with a mortgage, how you can kind of talk with them to structure payments and equity, what have you. But, really solidly pitching that opportunity to them and structuring that on the call or on the back end to then present to them is what I'm really interested in here for. So I really hope to learn from you guys here in that on that regard. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Awesome. I love that. We will also get you a copy of the script that I wrote. It has kind of like a step-by-step process of how to get to pitch in sub 2. And then if we have some time left at the end of the call, let's do a little role play and maybe you'll be pitching me and then I'll give you feedback on the pitch that you do as to how you're pitching sub 2 to begin with. Is that cool?
I love it. Brilliant. I'm here for it. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Awesome. Aldo, how you doing, man?
Hey Sam, doing good. I actually I got in touch with Judy. Um,
Nice.
yeah, I was talking to her. Actually, I spoke with her earlier this morning. Um, I don't know when was the last time you spoke with her, but we had a little conversation, and she sounds like she wants to make something happen with rural pretty soon.
Yeah,
She was like, we were talking. I didn't mention that you had spoken that we know each other and whatnot.
that's fine.
I understand that. But she was like, yeah, I think I'm just gonna have to let it go. Just transfer the property away and whatnot. I'm like, okay, cool. And I just played it cool. Like, let me see what I can do on my end as well, and blah blah blah. So she sounds like she's ready to do something for that. She's running out of
Yeah.
options. And she's also for her other duplex that she has on 516 33rd Street. She's probably gonna have to do something for that as well. I mean, that one's a tough one because I think she's 3 months behind payments on that one now.
Mm-hmm.
Her payments are super high, $2,800 per month after they did the whole loan modification.
Mm-hmm.
She says she owes about 229. She owes 229 on the property,
Mm-hmm.
but it sounds like I think she may lose that property as well. I think from the sounds of it, if she doesn't do something for that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, she's definitely motivated. It's just about, kind of winning her over with the rapport. So, what would you say the end of the conversation was? Where'd you leave it off with her?
Left it off as since on rural to see like if we just I didn't entertain much the 560, but on rural show I was just like, well, let me see what other let me see if I can provide another option that she was talking about like transferring. Like she basically reiterating the conversation you guys had. And she
Mm-hmm.
was like, okay, let me know what you can do because I need to make a decision here pretty quickly. I
Right.
may just turn it. She even said something like, "Hey, I may have to like just let it go for a few $1,000 on rural street." That was kind of like the last thing she mentioned.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I feel like maybe we'll see. Let's see if we can. I'll try to give her a call again today. I won't mention you at all, and
Okay,
then let me just play as like another party, and then maybe let's try to call her today. During this call, and
okay,
follow up one more time, and maybe I'll just get her to a certain point and try to get information out of her, and then you can call her later on and close her.
okay.
Cool.
All right, cool.
Good deal. Tony, I have a question for you. What about that guy in Texas? Did you
Oh,
follow up
Eric?
and see what
Yeah, I've
happened
been
with him?
following up with him. I've been following up with him. I haven't been able to get him on the phone lately, but I will follow up with my second phone number.
Because I think his that contract's gonna fall through. Would you
Yeah, I
agree
agree.
with me?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I think we need to keep an eye on him. And he needed to close by December 13, or was it January?
Oh, that guy. Yeah, I thought you were talking about the
No,
guy
not the
who's
short sale, the other one. I
rare.
mean, the
Yeah,
short sale guy too, probably. But what about the
yeah.
what was it? 227 and 223.
Yep, yep. Um,
Will Wild something?
yeah. Georgetown. I think it was.
Yes, Georgetown.
Yeah. Um, I haven't followed up with him yet since I got back from Thanksgiving, but I
Cool.
will.
Maybe let's try to call him on this
Okay.
live as well.
I got to run here in a moment, but I'm gonna be on and off for the call.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
just wanted to say hi though.
Cool. Appreciate you coming in, man.
Cool.
All right. Matter of fact, let's do this. I had like a planned out session, but let's actually call that guy first since you might leave. So let me see if I can pull him up. What was his last name?
Give me a second here. What was his name? Um, 1 second. Hmm. Uh,
I think his name was Rob,
yes, Rob.
and then last name Tish. Was it Rob Tish?
That is correct. Yes.
Let's see. Yep, that's the guy. Woodlake.
Yep.
All right, let me pull the property up and share my screen. And which one he said he was gonna sell, 223 or 227?
Um, I believe the last conversation we had with him, he was talking about selling 223, I
That's
believe.
true. Mm, Georgetown, Texas. Here we go. Cool. Let me give him a call. All right.
Hello.
Hey, Robert.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, this is Sam, Antonio's
Uh-huh.
partner.
Antonio.
Yeah, remember we were talking about the sale of Woodlake?
Oh yeah,
We had
yeah,
a
okay.
conversation quite a few times, actually.
Yeah, out of Nashville. Is it in Nashville or somewhere?
Yes, yes.
Okay, yeah.
How's everything going, man?
Good. We're getting ready to close it up.
So, where are you in the process? Are they still inspecting the property? Did they come out?
No, they're already inspected.
They already
They
came
already
out?
inspected. Yeah, they're already inspected. Everything's all right. Yeah, everything came out fine. House Supply was doing it, and they tried to hit me up with a bunch of
Repairs,
charges.
I remember, yeah.
Yeah.
Fees.
And I told him, nah, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna drop you. And then he said, no, we'll make the charges 0 charges. I won't charge anything. I went, okay.
Okay.
So
So which company is this that you're going with right now? Is it Housify or
it's
it's another one?
Housify. It's
It is
Housify.
Housify.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And they're gonna close. You had to close by the 13th of this month or next month?
No, I need to close by the 12th.
12th of this
Before the
month,
12th,
right?
because I'm closing. Yeah, because I'm closing on the house the 12th. So, and I
Got
already
it.
have a bridge loan. So, I had a bridge loan for the balance.
I
So
got
the
it.
bridge loan is going to be the bridge is actually going to be 460 minus 25%. So I got to
Right.
put 25% down. So I'm going to sell. I'm going to get an upfront equity.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to get the upfront equity. I'm just going to give them the 250 down instead of 25%, and then next year, I say next year, which is coming up pretty less than 3 weeks. I'll do. I'll refinance it with CLM Mortgage, which is owned by Chesmar. They actually own that mortgage company. So
Okay.
that's the plan.
Okay.
But we're going to
Okay.
keep 223. We're not going to sell that.
Yes, I remember you mentioned that 227 was the one you wanted to sell.
Yeah, and yeah, we're going to lose money on it, but I don't really care at this point because
Well, you're
I
losing
look
a
at it
gain,
like I
right?
told you. I'm losing at the gain, yeah. So I'll gain. I'll
And
gain the money back.
and you mentioned they already came out to the house and inspected everything. They don't need to do any more inspections?
No, they've already done everything.
I got you. They already scheduled the closing with the title company with you?
Yes, we're going to do it on the 10th.
Nice, nice. And you said you got over
So what do you
300
got?
too, right?
So yeah, so it's going to be it'll be 321,500.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I'm losing money on that deal, but like I said,
Yeah, but that's
I'm
still
making
really
money on the
good, man,
backside.
because even if you sold it with if that's the net number you're gonna get, even if you sold it with an agent, you would have walked away with roughly the same number.
It's phone number, yeah.
So I think that's a good
Yeah.
deal.
Well, and if we do something with 223, I'll let you know. I don't
Yeah.
know if I'm going to do anything with that.
Okay.
I may just
Okay.
keep that and lease it out.
I'm with you, man. If you don't have to, don't do it.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying not to, but this whole thing may blow up. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. You know how everything goes, day by day.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hey Rob, well,
So,
pleasure
yeah.
chatting with you. I just wanted to check in to see how things went, but if anything changes, make sure you save my number. If anything goes south or whatever happens, give me a call, man.
I will. I'll do that, brother. Okay, man.
All right, Robert. You have a good day.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, buddy.
You're welcome. All right. Tony, where you at?
I'm here. I'm mobile though.
I gotcha. Yeah, so it seems like so far it's going through. I don't
Yeah.
know if it actually is.
I'll put
you know,
something in my calendar to follow up with him in like, I don't know,
yeah,
maybe
let's
a week.
follow up with
Right.
him on the 10th. So
Okay.
what is today's the
Tuesday,
4th?
next
Yeah,
Tuesday.
so Tuesday, because if they're supposed to close on the 12th, they should already have like a closing statement and all of that prepared. You know what I mean?
What was the price that we were trying to get it under? It was under
We were
3, right?
So if we were gonna buy it cash, the max number we had was 250.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we would try to get it under contract for 270 and push it as a wholesale transaction, but the max cash buy was 250.
Right.
So if we buy for if we get it under contract for 270, there is a possibility, like Dom said, he had buyers that might have paid 290.
Mhm.
A matter of fact, he actually generated like 1 or 2 offers at 290. None of them were solidified. No offer I consider solidified until EMD is in.
Sure.
But yeah, he had a couple of people that we've done business with in the past that said that they would take it roughly at 290. So,
Okay.
it wouldn't have been a bad deal, but I mean, if his offer at 321 is true, then there's nothing we can do really in this
Yeah,
instance.
I'll stay on top of him. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like he's all over the place. So
Right.
yeah,
Right.
it could fall through. I think that's a
Yeah.
possibility.
Cool. So let me actually, I downloaded a couple of these slides that I wanted to go over.
I
Close
to
this.
jump off, Sam, but I'll probably hop on again in a few.
Cool, man. We'll see you. Uh, how do I? Oh, there we go. All right. Can you guys see my screen? All right. So when I was talking about basically the old way of
Testing.
pitching anything and the old way of actually selling, this is kind of what I was referring to, and this is what was taught in the beginning, right? So you basically start with something like, "Hey, are you interested in selling your property?" Right? Or, "Hey, this is Sam with such and such company. Are you interested in selling your property?" So it's like a predictable line. Immediately, it triggers like a salesperson status in the prospect's mind, right? And step two is they immediately, like once they believe that they're being sold, then there's resistance on the other end throughout the whole process. So like the first impression is, hey, this guy's trying to sell me something, and immediately it increases the resistance, right? And then you have fighting with them throughout that resistance. So you're trying to overcome that, and you're trying to fight to keep them on the line instead of them actually being interested in the conversation. And then later on, you just keep pushing forward, um, unless you already got hung up on, and you just keep pushing your, hey, well, we're gonna pay you a lot of money, and we're gonna get you a good offer, and this, and you're just making a proposal, right? So it's you get their attention, you try to get their interest by pushing forward and actually making a proposal, and then you pitch that proposal, right? So attention, interest, you're trying to gain their interest by your pitch, and typically what happens is the prospect loses interest, and I'm talking about, nowadays prospects. Prospects lose interest, and you start pitching benefits, right? To try to keep their interest in. So you'd say something like, "Hey, we're gonna buy your house as is, and we're gonna buy it cash, and we're gonna buy it within 14 days." And you just pitch benefits without even knowing what's important to that person. And then step seven is you might try to actually overcome some objections that they throw your way. Like, you say something, they say something like, "Oh, well, we're going to list with a realtor." "Oh, if you're going to list with a realtor, don't list with a realtor because with us, you don't have fees." And then you try to overcome that objection, right? And then you basically try everything you possibly can to try to close that lead, even offer them a higher price than what you really should offer if it's a cash deal, right? Or you try to offer them a shorter close than you realistically need on that contract. Whatever the case is, you just try to add more benefits to just gain their interest back, have them make a decision, and then have them commit to actually making that action and then doing that action. So the reason I don't think it works anymore is, like I said, I feel like people have too many options. So back in the day, you walk into a dealership, there might be like 3 dealerships in the whole town. Nowadays, you have hundreds, plus you have Carvana, plus you have, a bunch of dealerships selling everything online without even talking to salespeople. So it's very difficult to use that model of AIDA, attention, interest, decision, action, in today's environment. So here is what I believe the new way is, and the new way that actually works, that needs to be utilized when you're talking to prospects. That's just 4 steps. So Step one is you try to connect to that individual, and you might still try to get their attention, but instead of getting their attention by using an overused line that sounds salesy, I use things that kind of catch people off guard. So one of the things that I say, and you'll see it in my script. Matter of fact, let me actually just pull it up here. Let's see. Oh, let's see here. So in my script, if you go to the first line, you'll see I start with, "Hi, this is Sam. I'm calling you back about your property at 123 Main Street." Why am I saying I'm calling you back?
Because you're lying.
Hold on a second. I'm getting a call in the meantime. Hello, this is Sam.
Sam, this is George Alessi. We talked the other day.
Hey, George. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Joyce and I have been talking it over, and we decided we'd like to get out of here as quickly as we can. So, what do we have to do to accept your cash offer?
George, you're kind of catching me off guard here, man.
I know.
That's a lot of that's a lot of information in just 10 seconds, man.
Well, you want me to slow it down and start over? And
No, I'm just joking. Could you so there's nothing really pressing, so it's super simple process. We have a 2-page agreement that we would get signed. Once we sign a 2-page agreement, we basically go to work and we make the whole process started. So I would just need both of you to be in front of your email so I can send the agreement over. It's a company policy that we have to go through the agreement so that I answer any possible questions you might have, even though it's written in a super simplistic way. And then once we're all on the same page, then we sign, and then you guys can sign, and the clock starts ticking.
okay, so how does this work? Can we pick the title company?
Good question. So remember in the very, because actually, let me clarify this before we move forward to any paperwork. When you said you want to take the cash offer, are we talking about the actual cash offer where we directly just buy the property from you? Or are we talking about the offer where we do the hedge fund process and we help you guys dispo the property to one of those hedge funds that I was talking about and put more money in your pocket?
We're talking about the cash offer where you buy it directly from us.
Okay, so let me pull my notes up to check it. While I'm pulling that up, could you remind me, because I want to make sure we're talking about the same net number. You had a reverse mortgage of $300,000, is that right?
That's right.
Okay, and the offer that I had made you was, I believe it was 420 with a hedge fund process where you guys were walking away with 120,000 in your pocket. Is that accurate?
That's right.
Okay, and then I also had a cash offer on top of that. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so you don't want the one where you walk away with 120. You will actually want to take less money in your pocket as long as we close quicker and we're the direct buyer. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Let me pull my notes up then. Okay. So our offer, I believe, was 300 and was it 378? I'm going through the notes. I can't find it.
It was higher than that.
382.
One second. I do believe you're correct. because I think it wasn't an even number. Yes, I do have 382. So, how quickly you guys want to close then at the 382?
Certainly within a couple of weeks. And
About
you
14
said
days?
it could be done, right?
Say that again?
You said it could be done in 1 week.
Yes, that's correct. So as long as title's ready, and you guys are ready for move out, yes. It could be done in probably 7 days. So we could write it as like a 14-day closing just to give you enough time and give us enough time to prepare the title work. But if everything's ready sooner, we can actually close sooner.
Well, we can do it in about 14 days. In the meantime, we need to do some other things. But I need to know kind of like how this works. Number one, can we pick the title company, a local company here?
So typically, we pay for all closing costs. And because we pay for all closing costs, we typically pick the title company. However, I'm not opposed to working with your title company as long as I can vet them and find out what fees they're going to charge me. Because some title companies have fees and some title companies don't necessarily work with investors or hard money lenders and they don't close on time. So in a lot of cases, I want to say no just because I have experience with the title companies I've closed with already. And I know they can close on my timeline and I know exactly how much they're going to charge me. So what I could do is if you have a title company in mind, I could call and vet them first, make sure the fees that they charge and, you know, the process that they work with and the time frame they're going to be able to close within and the insurance provider for the title insurance they provide, I'm okay with. If I am, then we can go with that title company. I would, for the sake of ease, though, recommend we use one of the title companies that we've used in the past. In either scenario, title company always acts as a third independent party. They cannot favor me, and they cannot favor you, regardless of the circumstances.
I'd rather use Sunbelt.
What is it called? Sunbelt title?
Sunbelt.
Title.
Yeah.
And there's actually a few of them. It looks like. Is it Sunbelt Title Agency?
Sunbelt Title Agency.
Okay.
Okay, the number is 239
Uh-huh.
931 1234.
Okay. Let me check.
And you'll talk to Tracy.
Tracy. 239-931-1234, right?
Right.
Okay.
And we would like for you to deposit $50,000 into as an upfront under contract. 3 business days under contract.
Okay. So you'd like a $50,000 deposit in 3 days.
In 3 business days.
Okay. Is there a reason you're asking me for such a high deposit?
Wait a second. It's a quick closing so we can move.
But what does the deposit have to do with the quick closing?
Well, we just, all right. It comes down to trust.
Okay.
We think everything's on the up and up, but we need to show that everything's legitimate.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, I mean, you're going to have to put the money out in a few days anyway. What's the difference if you put up 50,000 early to show good faith, and then a few days later you put up the rest of it?
Well, I've had instances where I've put the entire purchase price as the deposit, but in those instances, the purchase price has typically been roughly $50,000 to $100,000. It's not impossible for me to put that in. However, what you have to understand, George, is, and I totally see your perspective of trust, but even if I put $5,000 down, do you think I'm going to want to lose $5,000 on that transaction? No. But the other side of the coin is we buy 4 to 10 properties every single month. And if I put $50,000 as a deposit on every single property that we buy, I'd be out of money in 6 months, 5 to 6 months just on deposits. And if something happens to the title and I receive the title with, let's say, I don't know, a mechanic's lien on it or a municipal violation or whatever the case is, I'm given an automatic extension for you guys to fix that issue, and then I have $50,000 stuck into a transaction or into one property that I don't even close on. Now, the other side of the coin, because there's 3 sides in this case, is we are not going to just tie up liquid actual cash. We always use hard money. Now, we don't ask for contingency, and if our hard money lender can't close on time, we'll still wire our cash and they'll wire us the money back later on. But the only reason we're able to buy so many houses is because we buy them with investors that we work with. So, we have the cash and we'll still close on time even if they can't, but they're still going to reimburse us. But there's no reason for me to tie up 25% of the purchase into one transaction as an earnest money deposit. Typically, it's 1% of the transaction.
So what escrow can you put down for our assurance?
Well, like I said, typically it's 1%. If you need me to put more, I can put more, but I think 50,000 is a little unreasonable.
Well, how about 25?
I mean, that's almost 10%.
But it's
I mean, are you afraid that the only reason I wouldn't do the deal is if there's something you didn't tell me about the house. Is there something that I don't know about the house?
nothing that I know of.
Like, is there a
as far as I know,
sinkhole in the backyard? Is there a foundation issue? Is there a leak in the roof?
No. Well, why don't you come take a look at it and make sure?
I mean, I have no problem with any of that, but as long as the house is as it appears on the photos, which it does, and I took detailed notes from, the time we talked. It has a new pull cage. It has a 2-year-old roof. It has a 2-year-old HVAC. It has a bonus room that's attached to the master bedroom. The kitchen has been remodeled in 2016 with granite countertops. The pool deck is a little bit older and it needs resurfacing. Like, I have all the notes and the entire conversation that we had, and I also have all the photos, and I have a satellite image of the property. Unless there's something that's majorly different from what you and I had discussed, there's no reason for me not to buy the house. And there's no reason for me, even if I put $3,000 as an EMD, why would I want to lose $3,000?
There's nothing that we are aware of that you're talking about. What about putting in 15,000, so we don't worry? So we don't, and get antsy.
So let's do this. Let's discuss the EMD last, because I don't want this to feel like a negotiation. You are right. At the end of the day, I'm going to buy the house regardless. So I'm not really that worried about EMD, but I do want you to be a little cognitive that even $15,000 is like 5 to 6%, which is 5 times more than a typical cash transaction. I'll consider putting more than 1%. I don't have a problem with it, but let's iron out all the other details first.
It's only for 14 days.
True.
So
That is true. That is true. So let's iron out all the other details first, and then let's return to the EMD topic. I think we can figure out something reasonable that works for all of us as EMD to make you guys feel safe and trusted. Is that fair?
we can try.
Okay. What other concerns you might have outside of the earnest money deposit in the transaction? So I know you
don't have any
mentioned the
problem.
title company. I know you mentioned the earnest money deposit. Joyce, do you
Yes.
have any concerns?
No, just the title company, and we've established that.
Okay.
So no, as far as I know, there's nothing else that we have questions on right now.
Okay, wonderful. Now, if we ink this sometime today, then the closing would probably have to take place on the 18th or 19th of December. Are you guys comfortable with those dates?
Yeah, we'd be comfortable with that.
Okay. Would that give you enough time to move everything out of the house that you need to move out?
That is a question. We need to. Yeah, I think so. I think it would give us sufficient time.
Okay. Okay. So 18 or 19th should be sufficient time for you guys to move everything out of the house then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Let me do this then. I actually want to just agree to your title company and put that in the agreement. I don't even necessarily want to, call and vet them first. Would you mind if I basically contractually commit to put in Sunbelt title? And you said Tracy was the name, right?
Yes.
And Tracy as our closing agent, and I'll contractually commit to use them. But later on, if I call them and they say, hey, we can't close on time or whatever the issue is, I just ask you, and if you guys want to refuse changing the title company, then I'll just have to go with that. Is that okay with you?
What?
I didn't understand that.
So basically, I'm going to contractually commit to use Sunbelt title. I'm
Yeah.
going to
Okay.
put that in writing, and I'm going to put that in the contract. I just want to establish in the beginning that even though I'm agreeing to that, and we most likely will use them, but if I call them and they say, hey, we can't close on time, or they're going to charge me, I don't know, a ridiculous amount for a title insurance or a ridiculous amount for closing the transaction, then I don't want there to be any misunderstanding if I come to you and I ask you to change the title company potentially.
Are you paying the document stamps?
I'm basically paying all closing costs. I'd have to commit to pay all the closing costs. The only thing you guys are going to pay is the property taxes. And the property taxes is probably already paid for 2024.
Yes, they are.
So essentially, I'm just paying for everything.
Wait a second. I'm going to mute you temporarily while I discuss something.
Okay,
Okay?
sounds good.
So the property taxes have not been paid for
Okay.
2024.
Okay.
But we were gonna pay that as soon as we got this money.
So then it's super simple. What we'll do is we'll just usually what title companies do is they just take it out of the proceeds. So they'll pay you the full 382 minus the property taxes for 2024.
Okay. And it
Fair
is
enough?
due the property taxes are due no later than March the 31st of next year.
Correct. Correct. But you're only paying 2024. You have nothing to do with 2025 because you're not going to own the property in 2025.
Right, but it's my understanding that the property taxes that I would have paid in November that I'm putting off to the March the 31st is the property taxes for 2024, and I haven't
Yes.
paid that.
Yes, that
Yeah.
is correct. That is correct.
Okay, and you will pay it and take it off of the money that we were going to receive.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, the technical way of saying it is the title company will pay it and just keep it from the proceeds, but yes, essentially.
Okay, and it comes off of the money that we were going to be paid. Okay, I got it.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and write this up. So it seems like we see eye to eye on the title company as long as their fees are reasonable, which I think they should be. It seems like it's like a franchise, so they should probably have a standardized fees. Usually I just see higher fees with title companies who are like, one-off, like private companies. So the only thing that you guys want is you want a slightly higher deposit than normal. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. I typically, like I said, put 1% on cash purchases. I'm probably willing to increase that to 2% and double it. Would that put you guys at ease? So basically 1% is 3,800. 3,800 times 2 is $7,600. Would that be enough for you?
2%. Okay, well, okay. It'd be a little better if it was a little more.
You want to round it to 8 grand?
To 10,000.
Okay. I'm not going to argue over $2,000, so I'll round it to $10,000.
Okay.
And I'm going to put 14 days for closing. And I'm going to put Sunbelt Title Agency as our closing agent. Okay?
Okay.
Now, let me check if I have Joyce's email here. 1 second. Boom, boom. 82. Okay, so I have yours, George. I don't have Joyce's. Yours is at iCloud.com. Could you text me Joyce's email address?
Sure.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Well, I'm actually sending it to you now. Do you guys have 5 minutes to go over it?
Sure. You sure?
Okay. So let me know once you sent Joyce's email to me.
Okay. Well, I'll do it right now. Your email to us? JoyceAlessi@iCloud.com.
All right, I have everything prepped, ready to send to you guys. Basically just waiting on that email.
Okay, I just sent it.
I got it. Okay. Could you, do you guys have your emails pulled up in front of you?
No, they are on our iPad.
Okay.
We can go get them, but
Yes, please, so that I can send this over. And let me know when you're ready, so I can send it over.
okay, I got my iPad here.
Okay. I just sent it over.
Got it. I got this one.
Okay. So it's gonna open up as an email, and it should say something like view document in there. Are you able to open and look at it?
Okay.
And let me know once it's pulled up so we can go through it.
Not wanting to come.
Okay, you got it?
No,
You didn't get it yet?
my email is not opening. I just, the black screen.
Are you dead?
Okay.
Let me know once you guys both have it pulled up.
I think her email is there. Her iPad is dead. We're going to have to wait a minute or two because her iPad was completely dead and is not receiving anything at this time.
Oh no. Well, in the meantime, while we're waiting, George, so are you guys finally moving up to New York, or what's going to be the plan?
Undecided.
You can tell that just from the quiet. It may involve two moves.
Now I want to ask you to put a deposit, George, because what if you don't want to sell me your house in 14 days?
What do you mean? No, we're going to sell the house in 14 days.
Okay.
Now, once we've signed the paperwork, wouldn't we have to sell it?
Yes, but I mean, I've had
But
instances, and we'll go through it in the paperwork too, where this like the seller sold us the house, and then they're like, "Well, you know what? We're not moving out actually." And then we had to go through a whole procedure and all kinds of stuff. Luckily, we've never had to go to court with anybody, because we were able to just, by kind of show of goodwill and just talking to people, get them to understand that, the house is now sold and they're not moving out. But, yeah, at the end of the day, things happen and not everybody always follows the contract.
okay. Uh, I still was under the impression once I signed the contract, I'm committed to it.
Yeah, you are. But see, like the actual closing, the actual time where you sign, because the contract just outlines the terms by which we're going to make the purchase happen, right? But the actual sale and the actual closing happens at the title company when you guys receive the check. So until I got you guys paid the amount we're agreeing upon in the time frame we're agreeing upon, there's no actual sale that happens. You know what I mean?
Okay, I got you. But we're going to have a real estate attorney review the contract.
Okay. Do I need to send it to them as well?
We got to go find him first.
That's
No,
the time. Are you not gonna use the title company for that?
well, we're just going to have him review it.
Yeah. So what I can do is, I can also share this with the title company as well.
Yeah, you could do that.
The lady Tracy,
Okay.
who you want to do the closing, do you want me to share it to her as well?
Yes.
Do you have her email address?
Well, give me a minute. I'll get it, and I'll
Okay.
text it to you.
Okay. I'm also trying to find it on their website too. In the meantime.
Okay.
Well, also what we can do, guys, is, George, do you have the agreement open on your end?
Go check yours.
George?
I'm here. I'm just trying to get all this in and double checking it, make sure that I got it all right.
Okay. Now, is there a reason you guys like Sunbelt Title? Did you guys close with them before?
Yes, this house was closed with them.
Okay. I'm just looking at their reviews. It says, if you're looking for, I just opened up their website, and on Google it was saying, if you're looking for poor service, unfriendly employees, and unreliability, you have come to the right place. And then the other review says that they're great people. But if you trust them, I'm fine with that.
Whoa. I made a mistake here. I'm gonna have to start over.
Okay. What happened?